G'day everybody. Wade North out there for Billboard Battalion. We're coming to you today. Today is the 3rd of July 2025. This is Thursday, and we're in downtown Cayuga, North Central Victoria. We're talking today with Jacquie Dundee from down in Gippsland, and we're also talking to Mark Mac, who resides around the Wangaratta area. So we're coming to you today to give you a bit of an idea of what they call the Victorian leg of the rally to Canberra, which started in Cairns and headed down. That Jody Lowe's had a hell of a lot of organisation in. So it was a bit light on the ground as to what was going on with the Victorian leg. So we might just ask Jacquie Dundee to explain a little bit about her covenants for a start, because that's what this is about, is to deliver these covenants to Canberra. So we might just ask Jacquie to give us a little bit of background on that, and then we'll get down to times and places we'll be calling in, and where people can pick up with the procession to Canberra. We'll be going to Albury tomorrow. We'll be going through Wangaratta to Albury, and then from then on we'll be heading to Wagga, where we'll be staying overnight, and then on to Canberra on the Saturday. So there's a fair bit to fill in between all that. So I'll just say a big g'day to Mark and to Jacquie, and so Mark's helping us organise some of the leg that's around the Wangaratta area. So I might throw to Jacquie now just for a bit of a brief on what this is all about, and where she's leaving from. And once we get to Wangaratta on the Hume Freeway, Mark and I will take over from there, and then Jacquie can tell us about what's happening in Wagga. So g'day Jacquie, how you going there? And
hey. How are you, Wade? Mark?
Hello.
Well, the covenant. So the Solemn League Covenant. We really are in such a perilous situation in this country. I guess we're all looking at how to correct things. So I've been staring at my grandfather's Solemn League Covenant of the Ulster from 1912 for quite some time, and I started taking down notes and ideas, to do this probably in March of this year. And as I said earlier, the thing that really got me when I started to research into the covenants is that it's in my blood. My forefathers were involved with the Declaration of Arbroath in Scotland, 1320, the covenants of 1638, 1643, the Claim of Right in 1689, and the Acts of Union in 1707, which I wasn't aware of when I started to write this. So there you go, it's in my blood. But the covenants are considered peaceful instruments, and they are always and lawful. So they are there. These ones that I've just mentioned are all under glass in museums, and they are considered foundational in law and how things have been structured, even our constitution, etc. So the idea of the covenants are to protect the sovereignty of the people and to stop tyranny. So it's just basically outlining things. So I did quite a bit of research into the most powerful way, I guess, to design it. So rather than by declaration, sovereigns can make commands by decree. So we, the people of the Commonwealth, are sovereigns. So together we are the sovereign beneficiaries of the Commonwealth by inherent right. So as sovereigns, the people can make a decree. We are the ultimate authority of this nation. Government is just a servant to us, and they have usurped their positions. They are acting unlawfully, unconstitutionally, without any authority whatsoever. And we've got to do something about it. So the other bizarre, it's just like everything really falls into alignment. And I'm a very true believer in that things happen when they're meant to happen for a reason. So about 3 days prior to me releasing it, I became aware of the Commonwealth Custodians' declaration and trust deed, which they'd presented to government and relevant authorities on the 13th of April, which is it's on exactly the same thread. It's all about, we are sitting now with an unlawful government, and it's about reclamation. So it's up to us. Nothing is going to happen if we do not implement the change. That's all there is to it. So the Covenant outlines very briefly, just on 2 pages, what's occurred, what's going on, how Parliament have not sworn their oaths as prescribed under Section 42. They've reconstituted themselves as a foreign entity without any enumerated head of power. They are enacting legislation beyond the limits of state and Commonwealth authority, etc., etc., etc. Entering into treaties, unlawfully, unconstitutionally. Treaties, everyone needs to be aware of this. Treaties can only be entered into, between 2 or more independent nations. So all of these treaties that have been entered into with our First Nations, the government keeps doing treaties with First Nations, they're all irrelevant. They're null and void. Treaties can only be entered into by 2 or more independent nations, which means that the World Health Organization one is basically null and void. So is the UNIDROID, the Lima Agreement, and the one with the UN. So we've got a case ready to go. We're looking for a plaintiff for that one to knock all of that out. Anyhow, the Covenant is basically to try and get as many people around the country to get on board. As I've always said, it's the only way that we can control the executive and the legislative branches, because they are out of control. They're totally out of control. And you can see everything's happening at warp speed at the moment. Taxes here, taxes there. It's just distraction after distraction. They are destroying the people. So it's by judicial force is the only way to control them, and with the people in mass, us in numbers. So this was, as I said, Commonwealth Custodians have served the declaration and trust deed already onto government. That was done on the 13th of April. Those steps have been put into place while the government was in caretaker mode. And it was just by fluke that I came across that, spoke to Keith Charles, a lovely man. And he said, "Good God,
Jacquie,
yeah."
Jacquie, we've got a fair bit of static coming through from your end, mate. Your phone's not close handies or anything?
Is that better?
Yeah, brilliant.
Shit, that makes me think it's
Hang
totally
on.
interactive.
It's back again.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's just started though.
I haven't got anything else around me.
All right. Maybe just keep going, eh?
Okay, so so the Solemn League and Covenant is basically, it sort of fits in as the second step after the declaration. So it's getting all the people on board, and these are peaceful instruments. So that's the other thing that's very important with them. That everything, and that is where I say to people, this is why I have got specifically written into the Covenant that you read it, and it is for Australians of honour and conscience. So read it and understand that it's basically a pledge that you are going to stand up for the Commonwealth and fight for our children. That's basically what it is. We are reclaiming the Commonwealth. The government have usurped their authority altogether. They are meant to be looking after this nation and working in the best interests of the people, okay? That is their role. They are our servants. But what they've done, obviously, and this is the thing, it is blatantly obvious by the wealth of our country being siphoned, and we do not see any benefit from it. So you've got these multinational foreign corporations that are tax exempt. They are raping and pillaging our nation, and the government is facilitating their profiteering from what belongs to the people, that is there to support us and future generations in this country. So it's very obvious that their allegiance is not with the people, it is with foreign interest.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, no, look, that's there's so much of this stuff that, I think that we've totally been sold out by, the politicians, not necessarily the structure or the system, but the people who are in it now are so committed to being corrupt and so committed to committing crimes. In fact, there's and we've been watching this unfold for 40 or 50 years. So I think at the end of the day, we're at the pointy end of the spear now, and we really need to be doing a hell of a lot to pull this back. So we might get on with the track and the route and the places that we're stopping and so on. And you're starting from downtown there. You're down near Melbourne. You're a bit out of Melbourne.
I'm out in Emerald area.
Yep. So you'll be starting from there, and heading down, ending up on the Hume Freeway there, Jackie. So, what's your plan? Have you been in contact with anybody who might attend, or have you? We've got information that we've been putting out as to what people can do or where people can go. Just a bit of an idea up to as far as Wangaratta.
Look, I put a couple of posts out just letting people know where I was coming from, and that I was going to head out the back way, basically through Healesville, Yea, and then through Bonnie Doon, and I turn off towards Benalla, and that's where I get onto the Hume. And look, I really haven't had any response whatsoever. So it's so I have only, and I cannot keep up with posts. Like I think, like you, Wade, I'm really snowed under at the moment, so I can't keep up with all the posts. And it's only been sort of scrolling through Jodie's posts that I see the odd comment. I mean, Jodie's great; he tags me and everything, but I've got to scroll through things to find out. But usually, if people have asked a question, he'll direct them to me. So I don't know. There's probably 10, maybe 20 cars meeting us in Albury, coming from all different directions.
Yeah.
But so we started making plans today, didn't we?
Well, we don't want to go rushing into it or anything.
Better late than never.
So like we've had a fair few people over the last week or so contacting us, with what's happening. So we did an interview the other night with Jodie Lowe with how it's gone so far and what's coming down from the northern sector. But there's been very little publicity from Victoria, from the Victorian leg going upwards. So we thought we might just have a bit of a chat with Jackie, and I spoke with her and also with Mark to work out. We might pull up, for example, in Wangaratta, and have a bit of a get together there, see who might be interested in signing up to some of your paperwork there, Jackie. So I understand you may have had some help with a bit of printing. We've had some good offers of people to give us a hand with some of the things there.
Yes, Sue. Sue's a lovely lady. You gave me her details, so as I said, everything's last minute. But better late than never. And it's it's just, I don't know. So many people said, "Oh, I sort of held off. I didn't want to interfere." And it's like, oh my God, so needed your help, over the last week. So as I said to Sam, the young guy I spoke to this morning, and Sue, never hold back, just burst in there. But Sue's been fantastic. She's printed off some of the covenants. She's going to be meeting us in Albury, though. So I'm going to have to find an office works in Wang.
There is one.
Beautiful. And I'll just go and print some off there.
Yep. Sensational. So, so we might just run through the itinerary from start to finish, and that way then we can chat about different things. But if we do the itinerary start to finish, then people will be able to keep up with that and work it out. So we're going. We'll be heading down the Hume and getting into Wangaratta. So we'll be getting into Wangaratta at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, which will be Friday, the 4th of July, 2025. I spoke to Mark today, and Mark has found a good spot for us to pull up, where we've got a room where people can see us, where people can come and catch up, and hopefully might even take part in one of the legs, maybe from Wangaratta to Albury, to make a bit of a thing of it, and get a little bit of size and a little bit of publicity and visibility. So, Mark, you might tell us, mate. You're planning on people pulling up and meeting in Wangaratta at 10 a.m.
Yeah, well, we talked about a good landing spot, considering your bus doesn't like roundabouts. So we've decided to pull up right outside of Macca's and the APCO petrol station. There's a big street frontage there and plenty of parking right along the edge. It goes right from APCO to Macca's to a thing called the Rose Garden Reserve.
Yep.
So that's where we'll be at 10 a.m. Everyone in Wang knows where that is. Sorry.
And that's what street is that on, please, Mark?
Well, it's where Tone Road, Tone, runs into Lights. Then I think it becomes Riley Street, but it's right near the start of Tone Road, right in Wang, right across from Kmart, Coles, and Hungry Jack's on one side. We've got Macca's and the Rose Garden on the other. Great place to stop, great visual, and we're really pleading for people just to come and join us, to sign, maybe to do what I'm doing, do the leg from Wangaratta to Albury with everyone, say good day with everyone, have lunch in Albury. Just do what you can, guys,
Absolutely. No, that's fantastic, mate. And thanks for chucking in at such short notice too, Mark. That's been really appreciated, mate.
No, it's good. I'm just walking around town. I bumped into some Freedom folk and they're onto it. Already got another car coming up with you. So that's a good start. And just anyone that's watching this that has time tomorrow, stuff work. I mean, you're only working for the tax man. Let's have a day off and get behind this.
Now, very, very importantly as well, one of the other things that really started me off, doing the covenant and getting people on board was after the determination of Beach Jones for Dr. Beverley and Rod Culleton in the High Court, where he made a comment that the High Court cannot be diverted from its principal purpose. I have never recovered from that. So I've just thought, really? So what's your purpose? Your purpose, High Court, is to deal with, matters of constitutional significance and that are of interest to the general public. Now, Dr. Beverley and Rod Culleton's matters that are in there are of profound constitutional significance, and they are of immense interest to the general public because it's about our bodily autonomy. Section 109, they're forcing people to get vaccinated to go to work, and the Federal Act says, no, you do not have to be that. You do not follow a state act. You can ignore it.
That's right. Yep, that's right. Just like the
So
mandate.
Dr. Beverley, collecting donations, please.
Yeah, great. And actually, can we just have a quick chat about the treaty? Someone called Joanna put a good question up on the comments saying, and you could answer this maybe for us, Jackie, I'd like to know, before a treaty is required, doesn't there need to be a declaration of war in the first place?
Not necessarily, no. My comprehension of it is you could enter into, for example, trade treaty agreements between independent nations. So you might have a treaty for trading, for example.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's my understanding. So a treaty would be entered into with another independent nation.
Yeah.
So to benefit, you'd be of benefit to both, I suppose. A treaty. So yeah, not necessarily war.
Okay. Jackie, have you heard about the First Nations people's meetings going all over Victoria this month?
No.
Yeah. Well, I'd like people to check out a website that's called firstpeoplesvic.org. Firstpeoplesvic.org. They're doing a meeting in Wangaratta on the 14th of July. Only Aboriginals are invited and their carers, not us. And it's to talk to the people that they've already, put in as the heads of this corporation. and to put their views across. And there's also one in Shepparton on the 16th of July. I don't want to take too much time on this, Wade, but it's important because
Discrimination.
So I want people to be outside these meetings. I want people to be outside. We will be in Wang. 14th of July, 4 p.m. Same in Shepparton on the 16th. So just go to that website.
Their fault. It'll be the government. This is what the government do. They like to cause rifts between different cultures and different races. And of course, if the government have got anything to do with it, they'll be setting up the administrative, corporate things for First Nations, and they won't be benefiting from at all. The government will just be laundering more bloody money towards them.
Well, can I just say something quickly? Just one more thing. Finally, on their website, it states, where are we here? Just give me a minute. Regarding what it's about, it says it aims to establish treaties between the Victorian government and the Aboriginal communities to acknowledge past injustices and create a more equitable future. Fancy that?
Bloody bullshit.
Yeah.
Listen, the past injustices that were done to First Nation were committed against them by the same criminals we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
We've got the same enemy. This is the thing. And like most First Nations are very well aware of that.
Yeah.
Very well aware.
Oh, yeah, most of them might be there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So there's a fair bit we can talk about all that, but we probably need to get back to the focus at this point.
Right,
Focus.
Which is so we'll get to Wangaratta at 10 a.m. Tomorrow morning, which is Friday, the 4th of July, 2025. We'll go into the location where Mark just indicated, which is right next door to McDonald's and the Rose Garden, and also the Tone Road. So the plan is that we'll be there for about an hour and head off about 11:15 or so, and then head down the Hume Freeway to Albury. So theoretically, we should hit Albury at around about 12 o'clock midday or a bit early. It just depends on what time we actually do get away. So you might fill us in from there, Jackie, because you've been talking to people. Anyway, I'll let you explain the rest of it from Albury. So we arrive at Albury theoretically at 12 midday.
Yep, we hang there till 1 so we can gather.
Sorry, the location is, Jackie?
Oh, the location it's the BP in Lavington. So everyone meet at the BP service station in Lavington, Lavington. We will hang there till around 1 o'clock. And then I guess we're a little bit open to suggestions once we gather there, whether we go into Albury and do something. So we're a little bit open there, or whether or not we go just straight into Wagga, because Kaz is in Wagga, and she has suggested there's a good spot for us to go, which is very appropriate. It's by the Eternal Flame. I think it was a Memorial Gardens in Wagga. So from Albury, we go to Wagga. I'll get numbers and I'll get how many people are going to stay at the Wagga Wagga campground when we're in Albury. I'll send that through to Jody or what have you, just so we can book anyone who's camping at the Wagga Showgrounds, I think it is. And then we've got the afternoon in Wagga to chill out, cause some trouble.
No, we won't be causing any trouble. We'll be helping democracy.
Absolutely, we will.
We'll be helping democracy.
Educated people.
Yes, that's it. So that's the Friday. So on Saturday, Jackie. So from there, are you aware of what we're up to from then? You have an itinerary there from Wagga Wagga to Canberra.
We just go straight to Canberra. So we go. I think we'll leave Wagga at about 10 a.m. And it's only, is it an hour and a half from there?
Yeah, about that. Hour and a half, yeah.
Not far.
Yeah.
So we just cruise up to Canberra. and Jody has booked the South Side Village campground, which I think is on the Monroe Highway, and he's also booked the Monroe Tavern for dinner there and paid for everyone's dinner. So you just had to, if you're showing up for dinner or going and staying at the Southside Village campground in Canberra, let Jody know, please, through the CCP.
We've got something there from Chick Fenton. So you're stopping at Calcan and Henty on the way from Albury to Wagga. I wasn't aware of anything that's slotted in to do that. So as far as I know, it's straight from Albury to Wagga Wagga, and so we're going to end up, Jackie, at the Eternal Flame in some park there. So
I'll say that again.
Your static, Jackie, is going off its head, so you might
shooting radiation at me. So in Wagga, when we get to Wagga, after the campground, we should go and set up at the Victory Memorial Gardens.
Excuse me.
Yeah, we've got that. We're having a lot of trouble hearing you, mate. Just might try again, please, Jackie.
When we get to Wagga, after booking in at the campground, we'll go to the Victory Memorial Gardens, which is where the Eternal Flame is.
Got that.
Okay, yeah. No, we're getting a lot of static from your end, mate. So it's really having a crack. So
Wade, just quickly, the truck stop, the BP truck stop, North Albury. That's the place in Albury, right?
Yes.
BP
yes.
Truck stop, North Albury. Lavington. Yeah, sorry. Lavington. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lavington.
Yeah, we'll have Lavington.
All right. Look, we're so we'll as Jackie just said there, we'll head off from Wagga around about 10 a.m. Head to Canberra, and so it appears that Jody Lowe has got some things organised to do in Canberra, and I think stay over on Saturday night and then into Sunday. So, do you have any idea, Jack, if your audio is okay? Do you have any idea what the plan is for the?
Yeah. I really do not know what the plans are in Canberra. Obviously, the High Court and Parliament are closed on the Saturday and Sunday. But perhaps it's just a big, it's a good time to just get together and discuss things potentially. But I was going to stay till Wednesday.
Do you, Jackie? Sorry, Jackie. Do you have any cords that you're leaning on, or any plugs or something that you're moving, and when you move forward, or anything?
Hold on, let me just unplug everything.
How's that?
Did that do anything?
No, it's very, very hard to hear. We might just have to maybe make it that's our broadcast for tonight, I'd say, Jackie, because we can't hear what you're saying, mate.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky.
It happens a lot,
Well,
I'm serious. It is not uncommon.
Tell you what, Wade, we need to blame China. That's what we're going to do. Blame China.
Yes, CCP.
All right, Jackie. Look, we might leave it there. I mean, I think we've got the basic outline of the times and where we're going to be. So, well done to you. And I know you've put a monumental amount of work into the things that you've done. And I know you're under the pump. You've got 27 different things happening. I know that, the time schedule that you're trying to keep up and keep going and everything. So, a huge, big well done to you, and also to Jody Lowe, who's put a huge amount of effort into organising this procession to come down from Cairns and to Canberra and all that sort of stuff. So that's amazing. We might just chuck it back to we might just chuck it back to Mark for a second. We've got a comment here from Craig Vine. We meet at Memorial Park, 10:30 a.m. Sunday the 6th. So for anybody who is doing anything Sunday, that's what we've just got a message on the screen here from. So that's brilliant. So I think, there's a few things that are happening on Sunday. So I think people will just have to get an update of information in Canberra when we get there. All right. So, Mark, you want to say something, mate? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I have been looking at Jody's profile a little bit. He did mention there will be, I don't know if it's, you guys arriving Saturday, right? At what time Saturday?
Probably around about lunchtime, I'd say.
Yeah.
At 1?
Yep.
Jeez, I can't believe it now. Mark's.
He's frozen.
Oh, no.
Technical issues. Surprise,
Yes.
surprise.
Yeah, well, it's funny how this sort of stuff seems to happen when you start talking about these kind of things, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, to the intelligence agencies that are watching, I'll have a large coffee, mate. Thanks. Do something useful for a change.
I'll have an avocado.
Yeah. Well, I think they'd even stuff that up, to tell you the truth. So, and I mean, talking about intelligence agencies, I mean, that's just a contradiction in terms, really. I don't think they're too intelligent. Matter of fact, they're about as dumb as, well, anyway.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, look out, Mark's dropped off.
He's dropped off.
Yep. So,
well, that's great. Mark's arranged for another vehicle to join us. So I'll see you in Wangaratta tomorrow at about 10 a.m.
Yep, sounds
and we'll
brilliant.
take it from there. Yeah, and I think Saturday when we get up to Canberra, it'll just be sitting down and working out what the schedule is.
Yeah, mate, for sure.
Yeah, it was good to hear Craig's popped up and said that we're meeting at the memorial. So that's lovely that we've got some a lot of connection there on the way up, and when we get there to our diggers, lest we forget.
Absolutely. Well, and as I keep saying, there's our Anzac right here. That's on Billboard Battalion. That's our Anzac, mate. And,
backbone of the country.
Thanks, mate. And you too, Jackie. I mean, I know we get a lot of people that say, lest we forget, but I think it's fair to say that most have forgotten. So we'll try and revive things, because we try and operate with the spirit of the Anzacs, as do you and as does Mark. So right, we might leave it there. I know you've got another Zoom at 7, so we better let you go. And,
thank you very much. That's been
welcome.
Good clarifying everything. See you tomorrow.
Thanks very much.